Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today we are talking trends. We are looking at handbags and we are looking at the trends that I predicted at the end of the year and whether any of those have come true. What's to come, what's current, what's coming out at the fashion shows, what have we seen on the runway, what have we got to expect for the next few months. Some of these things are already out, already been launched. Some of these things will be as time goes on if they're just in the fashion weeks now. So let's look forward to what's going on trend-wise. Let's get going. So we're going to kick off with the 6 trends that I thought predicted would be happening at the beginning of this year. So I thought it was a good time to recap and just see, as the season's gone, as the quarter has gone, what's gone on. So there were 6 trends that I predicted, shall we say, at the end of the year. So let's go through them one by one and let's decide whether they're still there, whether they're still happening. So the first one is slouchy big hobo bags. Well, yeah, I think they're here to stay, aren't they? We went through a phase of going through very structured bags, didn't we? Sort of the boxy tote bags like the Dior book tote and the On The Go and the Fendi Sunshine shopper tote, I think it's called. And then we've gone slightly more slouchy into the the I Care YSL bag. And, trends like that, a lot more slouchy and big, just throw over your shoulder type bags. And they are still here. The I Care bag is still a massive trend. People are still wanting it. It's not sold out anymore. It's not hard to get, but there's been a price increase. It is still happening. There's also Prada have launched their hobo bag. Givenchy have launched a hobo bag. So yeah, all different sizes. Some of them are quite small little hobo bags and some of them are the bigger ones. So they're still here. They're still going to keep going. Okay, the second trend that I predicted to keep going into 2023 was the nano micro mini bags, and they're just not going anywhere, are they? In fact, more and more coming out. So we've got the Pico baguettes, which I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I know they're very cute, but yeah, I just don't understand them. Bottega have brought out, I think it's called the Candy Jodie. It's absolutely tiny. It's like a tiny little handheld pouch. Dior have brought out I think it's the Micro D-Joy. It's the East-West version of the Lady Dior. Absolutely gorgeous, but tiny, tiny, tiny. So yeah, nano bags are going nowhere. So bigger bags are coming in, but also mini bags, nano bags, not going anywhere. So just before we crack on with the next trend, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to anybody and everybody who has supported me. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and I am nearly there, and I would love it if you would join my family. I have an amazing bag to unbox and to start using to commemorate this momentous occasion if it ever comes. So if you would like to help me get to that and you can see the bag, I can start using it and we can all just, you can stop listening to me waffle on about it, then please hit the subscribe button down below and it would mean the world to me. So anyway, let's crack on. So the third trend that I predicted would be going into 2023 and continuing is the more arty and embellished, quite fancy type bags. And yeah, they're still here, aren't they? We've seen the Kusama collection. In fact, the new collection, as I'm filming this, it's being launched tomorrow. Yeah, so I think the pre-orders are already in. So yeah, I will put I do have some insider information and I'll put it up here. So these are very arty, they're very bright colours, embellished. There's a lot in the Kusama collection. So that is the second drop. We had the first drop in January, which was the dotty ones and the metal, I think it was a metal dots version, and there was all different ones. Now we're going into the pumpkins and the fish and the screaming faces. Anyway, it's very arty, very colourful. Dior have gone even more embellished. There's so many Lady Diors that they're just beautiful. They're so stunning. There's one that's like it's nearly like a lace pattern on the Lady Dior, and also the I think the Caro bag has that same design on it. just, yeah, they're very embellished and beautiful. So yeah, they were just launching, they're not going anywhere just yet. So I think that trend is here to stay. The fourth trend that I talked about in my video at the beginning or the end of last year was the drawstring trend. Now, I don't think this has fully caught on. I think there are a couple of bags. Obviously, it started with the Chanel 22 bag, which was already obviously in situ when I was talking about these trends, but I was talking about more and more brands getting into this, into the same vibe. Dior had a little drawstring bag. It's like a little pouch bag. I went to try that on. I didn't like it. Anyway, and it hasn't actually got a drawstring top. It looks like it has. It's like a gathered top with, you know, with little tags at the end, but it didn't actually pull in like a drawstring. I think there's a couple of brands that have a version of this, but I don't think it's a massive trend that I predicted it possibly would be. I know the flamenco bag from Loewe has been out quite a while, I understand, but this has become a little bit more popular. So yeah, that little gathered top to the bags, yeah, it's sort of around, but it's not the absolutely huge hit that I thought it might be. So I'm just editing and I realised that my trend number 5 has disappeared. My footage just seems to have disappeared. Anyway, the trend was bright colours. I was talking about Fendi and the acid greens, and yeah, there's quite a few really bright colours that I predicted was going to continue into 2023, and it has. I think there are, and we'll come on to this again in the second part of this video, so stay tuned for that because I'm going to contradict myself. But for now, yeah, the bright colours, again, look at the Kusama collection. There's lots of really, really beautiful colours out there, although there is another trend coming, so keep watching for that. And trend number 6 that I was talking about in that prediction and trends video, which obviously I will link up here, was the East-West bags. Now, again, this is going nowhere. We've seen the DJoy, we've seen the East-West Pochette Matisse. There's so many different brands have an East-West version and already had these at the end of last year. But when you look at even on the runway that's just happened in Fashion Week now, I think look at Miu Miu, look at Alexander McQueen. Yeah, there's quite a few, and also Ferragamo. There are quite a few of those elongated, exaggerated shapes, and there's also Loewe have brought out, I think it's called the Passeia bag, and again, it's very elongated. They're all slightly different, but they do have that in common. So yeah, that trend is absolutely really, really hot right now. So let's move on and look forward. So what are the trends that are new and that are coming? They might already be in the stores now, but they're all quite new and innovative. So let's get going. There's 5 that I have seen, so we will see how these go forward. Okay, so trend number 1 that I can see is starting to be everywhere, and it is an absolute classic, but it seems to be the really in thing at the moment, and that is really structured, glossy, beautiful smooth leather, and usually on a very structured bag. So we're going back to like my grandma. I remember my grandma having bags like this. So they've got the little turn lock top. They're usually quite structured and they open out. I'll put some different versions here so you can see what I'm talking about, but there seems to be, even on the runway just now, definitely Dior, Fendi, Alexander McQueen. They definitely, all 3 of those definitely had a lot of very smooth, shiny, structured leather. Obviously brands like Celine are synonymous for this style of bag, that beautiful box leather, like classic style, nearly like the Constance style bag. So it's been a classic forever, but we're seeing a little bit more of these as coming as a real trend, and actually the very structured little formal bags that have the little top handles, maybe the 2 little handles, and as I say, they've got the metal rim round the top, and they're just beautiful. Just remind me of my grandma. My grandma was so glamorous, she was absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, these bags just remind me of her. And also Dior, there was some ombre ones, I think there was some lizard ones, but there was definitely some that were more just in the smooth leather. which goes away from a lot of things that Dior do. Dior do a lot of the canage and obviously the quilting, which is the canage and or the oblique. So it's quite different for Dior, but beautiful. So that's trend number one. So although there are quite a lot of colourful arty bags, as in the Kusama collection, which is coming out, the second drop of that, very bright vibrant colours, there are also a trend that I've seen that's going slightly more muted. So I was talking to a gorgeous sales assistant in Bottega in Selfridges in Manchester, and she was amazing, and she showed me on this bag, oh, just absolutely stunning. So this is the knot clutch bag, I think it's called. So it's a little hard-sided, I'll put a picture here. It's a little hard-sided one with a little knot on the top. So again, slightly throwback to the little structured, very formal, hard-sided little bags, quite formal bags, which are beautiful. So it lends itself to that trend, but the leather that they used on the outside of that was a new colour called travertine, and it is the most exquisite colour. It's slightly sagey green, but it's also quite an earthy, mushroomy colour, I would say. So it's a real beautiful neutral, a very muted colour. And she said they are going away. This is what she said. They are going away from parakeet and they're launching travertine as their new like signature colour. She said that is what they're trying to do. They're going away from the bright, you know, even there's one called Wisteria, which is a beautiful purple, and it's not a bright purple, it's more of a lilac-y lavender colour. But she said they're going away from that and they're going into more earthy colours. So there's a beautiful chocolate brown, there's a beautiful dark burgundy red. Anyway, muted colours. So I think the trends are either going to be super bright like the Kusama collection, and like the men's collection in that the base leather on that is it's quite a baby blue, but it's quite a bright blue. So we're either going very bright and arty, or we're going very soft and muted. Yeah, and I'm here for the muted. As you can probably tell, I like my my neutrals. So that is my second trend. The third trend that I want to talk about is more of a trend of how to carry your bags rather than an actual bag trend itself. It seems, when you look at the runways, all that have just happened, Fashion Week, and quite a few of the brands, yeah, they're holding their bags sideways, they're holding them upside down, so that you might have a massive, you know, like a massive big tote bag, but it's like scrunched under your arm like a really big clutch bag. So if you watched the Victoria Beckham runway show, which I love Victoria Beckham ready to wear, I just love it. I just really do. And I do quite like some of her bags, I have to say. But some of them, they're like really oversized. So she does this bucket bag, but it's got a metal top. But she does an oversized version of it. And on the runway, they were sort of sideways. I'll put some pictures here. They were sort of sideways, held under the arm like a massive clutch bag. Ferragamo, exactly the same. There were things that were either under the arm, scrunched up, held upside down, held through the top rather than through actual putting it on your shoulder or through the chain, not holding them as handheld or on the crook of your arm. It was just a different way to hold and show the bag, which I just thought was really interesting. There's quite a few where, you know, they've gone through the top of the bag if they've got a little chain detail or something, and the hand goes through in order to hold it sort of through the bag. Yeah, just Ferragamo, Alexander McQueen, if you watched the runway show for that one, there was some very, again, structured, smooth bags, so lending itself to the other trends I've talked about with the two little top handles. And again, I'll put some pictures here, but then turned it upside down and carried it upside down on the runway. So it's just interesting, isn't it, that a few of them are doing the exact same thing. So yeah, so watch that. I don't know whether that's something that we'll end up doing. For me, if I held it upside down, I'd drop all my things out of it. I'd end up getting in a mess because I'd forget to do it up or something. We'll see, won't we? We'll see if it's just a thing for the runways or whether it is, yeah, a trend that actually will keep going. And the fourth trend that I've seen all over is the metal handles. So now there are metal handles, there's always been metal handles or bits of embellishment of metals. So if you look at the new Lady Dior, which is the 9522, that has metal handles. And although that is becoming sort of a little bit more prevalent, that's not exactly what I was meaning. What I was meaning is those very embellished, sort of straighter metal handles as a top handle. So what I mean is something, if you look at the Bottega, I think it's called the sardine bag, because it is a sardine that's on the metal handle. And yeah, you've got the beautiful woven leather and then this sardine at the top, and it just makes me giggle. But I really like it, I really do. So those types of bags, a very famous one I think that a lot of people have been talking about, is it, I never know how to say this brand, is it Lanvin? Lanvin? Shoot me now. Anyway, it's got the cat at the top. Now, I am not a cat person at all, so that doesn't appeal to me. However, I can see the beauty in it and everything else. So we're seeing quite a lot more of those, and obviously they're quite popular. And so other brands, sort of more contemporary brands, are bringing those out as well. So yeah, that is a real trend, isn't it? That very embellished, beautifully made craftsmanship of the little metal top handle that's in some type of yeah, some type of design, whether it's a cat, whether it's a sardine, whether it's, don't know why that makes me laugh, it just does. Anyway, so I think we'll see that keep going for some time, because it's just fun, and I'm sure they could go to so many places with that. So yeah. And the fifth trend that I can see happening right now and probably going forward is it's sort of lending itself back to vintage. It's sort of an amalgamation of all the other trends that I've just mentioned. So there's lots of bags that are coming out that are not necessarily throwbacks to other bags, but they look quite timeless and classic, as in you wouldn't know which era they're from. They're not particularly of its time. They're just, yeah, a bag that you could just pick up and you wouldn't know if it was a vintage bag or one that you've just bought from the store that day. So I thought that again was quite interesting, how there's a couple of bags again on the Ferragamo and Alexander McQueen runways, and also there was a couple on Fendi on their runway show that were newer bags that I haven't seen before. I'm not a Fendi connoisseur at all, but I don't mean the peekaboos or the baguettes or anything like that. These were other bags that looked a lot more, not retro, just more, yeah, sort of timeless, sort of not of any particular time. You could look at it and think, oh, was that from the 2000s or is it just from now? I find it quite interesting how these things sort of keep coming back, and I think it lends itself to going, do not get rid of your old bags that you think are really dated, because I promise you, if you keep them long enough, it just comes back round. And it just reminds me, because in my previous video I was talking about an old Louis Vuitton monogram bag that I have, and I thought it was called the Galleria, but it was actually, I think it's called the Galliera. Somebody corrected me in the comments, so thank you to whoever that was, because I was saying it wrong the whole time. Anyway, that bag, and again I'll put a picture here, yeah, I've thought that was dated for so long. I haven't used it for years and years. And now I've actually started using it. I've used it over the weekend because I just thought, you know what, actually, it's very similar to quite a few bags that are still selling in Louis Vuitton. They don't do that one anymore, but they do their artsy, and it's really similar. And somebody else, in fact, a couple of people in the comments said to me to go to Louis Vuitton and actually get them to quote for replacing all the leather, all the vachetta, because then it would be like a brand new bag for a fraction of the price. So I'm taking it tomorrow. I'd be glad to know. So I will find out, and if it is a, you know, a thing to do, depends how much it is. If it's going to be nearly as much as buying a new bag, then I won't do it, obviously. But you know, if it is reasonable, then I will, and I'll vlog the whole process so you guys can see how it works, and yeah, what the outcome is and what the results are and everything. So, but yeah, that is my fifth trend, is that vintage, timeless sort of look. So yeah, dig out all your old bags and start rocking them again, because that is the trend. Anyway, there we are, guys. There are my predictions and observations, if you like, of the trends that are happening right now. Which are the trends that you love? Put in the comments below which you think are ones that you might jump on board with. I like all of them, actually. There isn't any that I don't like. I love the little structured smooth box bags. Yeah, it just reminds me of my grandma. So I will be looking at those, no doubt. So thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, you know what to do. And other than that, I will see you on another.